labor. You know, men and women working with their hands built this country. They built homes and towns and railroads connecting them all across this nation. And when their working day was done, they'd gather and sing songs and tell stories about a working man's hero of legendary strength and kindness. He was a natural-born man, a bigger-than-life character who could swing this hammer with ease. Like this. Yep, there's only one man who could swing this hammer. John Henry.
John Henry, he could hammer, he could whistle, he could sing. Went to the mountain early in the morning just to hear his hammer ring. Lord, Lord, just to hear his hammer ring.
By the time John Henry was a young man, he had thick arms, wide shoulders, and strong muscles. He was the strongest man who ever lived. He had a beautiful, deep voice and played an instrument called banjo. John Henry married another steel driver, a woman named Polly Ann. They had a son.
Polly Ann drove steel like a man, Lord, Lord. Polly Ann drove steel like a man.
John Henry went to work as a steel driver for the Chesapeake and Ohio Railroad, or C&O. The company asked him to lead workers on a project to extend the railroad into the Allegheny Mountains. The workers made good progress on the project until they started working near Big Bend Mountain in West Virginia. The company's owners said the mountain was too big to build a railroad around it, so the workers were told they had to force their drills through it. This meant creating a tunnel more than 1.5 kilometers long. The project required about 1,000 laborers and lasted 3 years. Pay was low, and the work was difficult. Hundreds of men became sick. Many died. One day, a salesman came to the work area with a new drilling machine powered by steam. He said it could drill holes faster than 12 men working together. The railroad company planned to buy the machine if it worked as well as the salesman said.
Well, the man who invented the steam drill thought he was mighty fine.
The supervisor of the workers dismissed the salesman's claims. He said, "I have the best steel driver in the country. His name is John Henry, and he can beat more than 20 men working together." The supervisor called to John Henry. He said, "This man does not believe that you can drill faster. How about a race?" John Henry looked at the machine and saw images of the future. He saw machines taking the place of America's best laborers. He saw his friends, unemployed and standing by a road, asking for food. He saw men losing their families and their rights as human beings. John Henry told the supervisor he would never let the machine take his job. His friends all cheered. However, John Henry's wife, Polly Ann, was not happy. "Competing against the machine will be the death of you," she said. "You have a wife and a child. If anything happens to you, we will not ever smile again." He told his wife, "A man ain't nothing but a man. But a man always has to do his best. Tomorrow, I will take my hammer and drive that steel faster than any machine." John Henry and the salesman stood side by side. Even early in the day, the sun was burning hot. The competition began. John Henry kissed his hammer and started working. At first, the steam-powered drill worked 2 times faster than he did. Then, he started working with a hammer in each hand. He worked faster and faster. In the mountain, the heat and dust were so thick that most men would have had trouble breathing. The salesman was afraid when he heard what sounded like the mountain breaking. However, it was only the sound of John Henry at work. Polly Ann and her son cheered when the machine was pulled from the tunnel. It had broken down. Polly Ann urged John Henry to come out, but he kept working faster and faster. He dug deep into the darkness. People said he worked so fast that his hammer moved like lightning, hitting the steel so hard that his body began to fail him. He became weak, and his heart burst. John Henry fell to the ground. There was a terrible silence. Polly Ann did not move because she knew what happened. I beat them, he said. His wife cried out, "Don't go, John Henry." "Bring me a cool drink of water," he said. Then he took his last breath. Friends carried his body from the mountain. They buried him near the house where he was born. Crowds went there after they heard about John Henry's death. Soon, the steam drill and other machines replaced the steel drivers. Many laborers left their families looking for work. They took the only jobs they could find. As they worked, some sang about John Henry.
Well, the people took John Henry to the White House, and they buried him in the sand. Every locomotive come roaring by, says, "There lies the steel driving man, Lord God, yes, there lies the steel driving man."